Hani sir in one of his classes actually, focused on this particular point that whether you are prepared or not, just give the sectional, give the mock, you know where you stand. And after you start attempting sectionals and mocks, you get to know that the fact that the VRC questions that the examiner is asking in the exam are actually quite different from the English we use in daily life. First of all, I used to, try to complete all the full sets all by my own. How much time it took? Let it be 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. If I have enough time, am I able to crack the questions or not? I remember like 2 to 3 weeks before CAT, even in my sleep, in my dreams, I was going to that playlist only.
First of all, a huge congratulations on securing your MDI Gurgaon Convert.
Thank you so much.
Share a little bit about your journey so far, your background, school, college, and what were you doing for that.
Okay, so I've completed my schooling from Jagannath International School all my years. After that, I completed my engineering in computer science from Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, main campus. And after that, I have worked 2 years in the software industry with two companies. First one being the Publisher Sapient, and second one being a startup where I worked for 15 months. And after that, I started my prep for the CAT examination. And now I'd be joining MDI for my MBA journey.
Okay, so were you working while preparing for CAT or you took a break?
I tried working for 2 months, but I
Okay,
found that my startup job was quite hectic and I didn't get much time. So I resigned from the job and I, focused on preparation full.
okay. From which colleges did you receive calls and which are the ones that you have successfully converted so far?
So I received the calls from IIM Lucknow, IIT Bombay, SP Jan, FM, not FMS, Auxiliary, MDI, IIFT, all the CAP IIMs, and Amritsar, Sambalpur, every other IIM.
Okay, कितना percentile आया है आपका CAT में?
In CAT, I scored 99.47 percentile.
Okay, how did you come to know about Elitesgrid? Did someone recommend you or you did your own research to find about it?
Yeah, one of my BTech friends actually is passing out from MDI this year. So he told me about this particular coaching institution, and that's how I got to know about this. And I, uh, r- uh, read the editorials and read the Quora, sort of suggestions, and I finalized this then.
Which batch did you enroll in and when did your classes begin in Elitesgrid?
I enrolled the Veto IM batch, and my classes started around 26th or 27th of May last year.
CAT preparation journey is like an emotional roller coaster. Sometimes the students are up with motivation and sometimes really feels demotivated,
Yeah,
especially when mock scores fluctuate a lot, right? So what
right.
helped you to stay motivated during those challenging days?
Since the beginning, I've had this particular notion in my mind that I, feared attempting mocks or sectional tests without proper preparation. So I felt that until I'm completely prepared, I won't be able to perform. But Hani sir in one of his classes actually, focused on this particular point that whether you are prepared or not, just give the sectional, give the mock, you know where you stand, and from then on you can start working on your shortcomings, and that will actually make you better. So that's what I did. I started emptying a bit of mocks, a bit of sectionals, and I found what the problem actually was, and then I started focusing on those issues, and eventually it turned out good.
Okay, there are three sections in CAT, right? Quant, VRC, and DILR. So was there any section in particular that you initially found challenging?
Okay, 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 the VRC section particular, I'd say, because we have this particular notion in mind that coming from an international school, the English that we have learned all the years would help us ace the VRC section pretty easily. But after you start attempting sectionals and mocks, you get to know that the fact that the VRC questions that the examiner is asking in the exam are actually quite different from the English we use in daily life. So we have to understand the particular pattern of the examiner, what the examiner is asking, and what the answer could be. So that is one section I found challenging in the start. Yes.
So how did you overcome that challenge? Like how did you practice VRC section to improve your performance?
For a long period of time, in my when I was attempting mocks, I was of the idea that if even if I sacrifice one particular section, I'd be able to score good in those other two sections. But after giving 20 around mocks, I found that just relying on two sections won't help me, and I'd have to get to a particular position in the third section as well. So that's when I started looking back in the VRC section. I started going through, Shahazar sir's video about the idioms and acronyms that he teaches us for the answer finding. And I memorized those. I started understanding those. And what I did was I, went through all the previous year's exams in the VRC section. I attempted those. And after attempting, I looked for the answers and solutions, and basically in the solution I try to find a particular pattern that the examiner is trying to bound us in. And after eventually like 7 to 8 mocks, realizing in this manner, I understood the pattern the VRC answers are supposed to be marked. And that's when actually I developed that particular mindset to answer those VRC questions, and that's how I aced the VRC section.
Okay, so when you started giving full length mocks, was your score high or low initially?
I'd say it was pretty average. I used to score around 80 or 85 oddish marks. Not 80, I'd say. In the percentile, I'd say I used to score like 96, 97, 98, around that. Because I already had like 4 months of preparation before that. I started my mocks in September, late September.
So you prepared for 4 months, right? I would love to know, okay, uh, what special did you do this year that it improved your score?
See, the first thing is, specifically was that I left my job for this cat. So that gave me enough time to work on it. And secondly, I'd say this was my first attempt only, so I'm not sure how I would have done without the preparation. But apart from that fact, what I did in my preparation journey was basically the 2 hour long sessions that the teachers used to take every day. Those were, the only sessions I used to take. And in the daytime, I used to complete the sectional tests. I used to, go through the videos once in a while to, revise the sections. And once I started giving mocks in the September, I used to give like 2 to 3 mocks a week, and I gave like 3 to 4 hours in, understanding the answers, understanding the solutions, and understanding where I went wrong. And eventually that turned into a pretty good habit, and the day used to go like that only. Going through the assignments, going through the sectional tests, going through the mocks. So that is what helped me. And another thing I'd like to say, the key component in the CAT preparation is the consistency. You cannot put a break in your journey. Once you put a break, you'll have to start from quite back. So you have to be consistent. Even if you are able to do like 2 to 3 hours a day, that is fine, but you should not stop in between.
Can you walk us through your mock test analysis strategy?
Okay, so I'll start by section. In the VRC section, as I said, until October or mid October, I was quite of the opinion that I have, I can keep this section as an average section, and I try to excel in the board too. So I used to attempt the answers. I used to reread the passages again after the, giving the mocks, and I used to understand what the solution is and how the solution is, being given. But I didn't put like I won't say I put in 100% effort into that in the start. So that is something I did not focus much on until October. But in the DILR section and the QA section, DILR section I used to attempt as much as I could in the mock, and after the mock, first of all I used to try to complete all the full sets all by my own. How much time it took, let it be 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. I used to do it on my own. And even if after one day I wasn't able to do it, then I used to look for the solutions. And that's how I developed the habit of trying to solve the questions by myself, rather than just looking for the answers. And for the QA, I used to also do the same. I used to solve all the questions by myself first, how much time it took, and then I used to go for the solutions. So my basically go to strategy was, if I have enough time, am I able to crack the questions or not? So if I am able to crack the questions in a longer period of time, then I used to work on the efficiency and the speed part. So that was my strategy.
So how did you revise everything? There are so many formulas in quant. So how did you revise 30 to 45 days before CAT?
Okay, that is something I need to give credit Honey sir for. He has a particular, I'd say, playlist of all the sections and all the subject, topics. He even used to, give us like uh, oral revisions He used to give us like he'll start the class, he'll orally revise all the sections step by step by step. So that was something that stuck in my mind for a longer period of time. Rather than going through all the pages of the register and trying to find the things, that particular playlist of Honey Sir was just amazing, and it completely stuck in my mind. And I remember like 2 to 3 weeks before Cat, even in my sleep, in my dreams, I was going through that playlist only. So that is something that Honey Sir teaches very well. So revision is not an issue.
Did you appear for any other exam apart from CAT?
Yeah, I appeared for all the major exams, including NMAT, SNAP, and ZAT as well.
ओके, उसमें आपका कितना स्कोर या परसेंटाइल आया है?
Okay, in NMAT I scored 272. In SNAP I scored 99.3, and in ZAT I scored 98.7.
Okay, how did you prepare for omits?
Okay, so the thing is that if you prepare for CAT itself, the OMET preparation is, I'd say, 80% done, apart from the, some topics which are specific to OMETs. So that is something you need to practice on, but it's not a lot, and that can be done in like a week's time. And also the fact that NMAT does not have negative marking, it gives us a bit of sense of calm that it's okay, even if some questions go wrong, we'll be able to score, because the maths is almost same. The English part, as I told, coming from an English background only, English medium school, so that wasn't an issue to me. The EDMs and the phrases and active passive direct indirect, so that is something I've always been good at, so that was not an issue. So preparation for omits wasn't such a big task for me particularly.
Okay, and for the decision making section, is that decision making?
Okay. So the decision making section was one section which I spent a month preparing for. After my omits were over, I spent like around a month. We had daily sessions, we had previous year questions, we had mocks for that. So decision making also, just like the VRC section, you have to make your mindset like that. You might be an extremely intelligent person, but you cannot just go into the exam center and you say I'll be able to crack decision making. For decision making as well, you have to understand what is the kind of answers the examiner is looking for, and that is what you have to prepare for. You have to prepare your mindset. It's not about you give 10 marks or you give 20 marks. The mindset, if you develop, you'll be able to score well in decision making.
Back to the interview stage directly, share how you prepared for your personal interview.
Okay, so for the personal interview, coming from a tech background, first of all, I revisioned and I touched upon all the technical subjects of my undergraduation. uh, you know every subject that is pretty common and could be asked in the interviews, I went through all of that. I revised all of that, because working for 2 years, you tend to forget all the undergraduate things. So I went through that. First of all, the academics, that was the part. And second one, I'd say about the work I did in these 2 years. I listed down all the things I did. I listed down its impact, how I did it, why I did it, what the impact it made. So everything around my work experience, I made a docket for it. I prepared for it. And apart from that, then we have the hygiene questions, like strengths, weaknesses, and any challenges faced in the work or so those sort of questions. So I prepared those as well. And apart from that, the main takeaway I'd say from the interviews that I give was, you have to be calm in the interviews. You cannot let panic overpower you, because I for my for myself I've realized that I have those three interviews on tips which I messed up just because I panic in the interviews. And the interviews where I was actually chill, and I thought that I would be able to ace the interviews pretty easily. That are the actually ones that are the actually the calls I converted. So that is something. The most important thing I'd say, the key component is, do not panic.
Uh, so, do you remember any question that the interviewer asked you which were beyond academics or stress management के लिए जो generally पूछते हैं, तो ऐसा कोई situation हुआ था और कैसे handle किए थे वो situation?
Okay, so I remember, not much I'd say stress management, but I say to check the demeanor or how cool I am able to, be in the interview. So one of the interviewers in my interview asked me, what name one hill range in Delhi, because I'm based in Delhi, I live in Delhi. So it was like a complete bummer because I haven't seen any hills in Delhi. Delhi is a complete plain statue. So that was one question I'd say that threw me off. And out of, I'd say, panic or hesitation, I just said the Raisena Hills. So that was one question I felt was, uh, you know, to check my demeanor only, I'd say, because I'm sure there's no hill in Delhi. So that is one thing. And he went on to actually pile up on that what is the hill range that Raisina Hill is a part of, and when was it named Raisina Hill and all that. Just to check till how I could keep my composure. So that is one incident I remember.
How did it feel when you finally received the convert?
I'd say I was pretty happy, pretty ecstatic. Uh, I expected these converts. I expected a convert for MDI because that is one interview that went pretty awesome, I'd say. And it's a good feeling, working hard for 8 months and 9 months, sleepless nights, early mornings. So when you receive that final, letter in your hand, you feel like you have achieved your milestone. You have, achieved the result of the journey you have been part of. So it's a very good feeling.
Okay, so what was your overall experience with Elitesgrid? अगर short में कुछ बोलना हो तो?
Okay, to sum up, the experience at Elite Grid, I'd say outstanding and the best coaching I ever got for anything. I've got coaching for my JE examination for 11th, 12th, NCR, CBSE. But this particular, institution and the teachers, matlab, I can't say how good they are. They are pretty excellent. Hani sir, Gaurav sir, Shahzad sir, they teach us as if they are, we are their own children. I can be pretty sure about this. We have had pretty, personal discussion sessions, personal doubt sessions, and uh, the day long revisions we used to have in the VRC and the DILR and the quant section. So that felt like they consider the kids or the students as their own, and they teach them like their own, which gives it an edge, which over the other institutions. And I feel that uh, it's amazing. I have no words for that.
Thank you so much for sharing your amazing journey with us. Your journey is a proof that hard work and clarity always pays off. Once again, a huge congratulations on securing a spot at MDI Gurga. Wishing you all the very best as you start this exciting new chapter. Thank you so much for joining and sharing your journey.
Thank you so much, Neha. It was good to talk to you. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing talking.